The MSD Blaster coil packs here will be for the 99 to 04 GT owners looking to replace a faulty set of stockers with something that will produce a much hotter spark overall and something from one of the most trusted names in aftermarket ignition. Now the MSD options here will come in a set of 8 and will feature the signature red finish for the mid to high $200 price point. Site's going to call this one a soft 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, which I think is being a bit much since these are pretty straightforward, but figure about 30 minutes or so to knock things out from start to finish, as we'll show you later in the video. All right guys, so one thing I do want to point out before we go any further with the MSD coils is that moving into an aftermarket coil like the MSD here isn't traditionally going to yield any massive power gains by themselves. And well, if they do, it's typically because the coils you are replacing were faulty to begin with and basically just not allowing the car to perform at its peak levels. Now that's not to say there aren't any benefits to installing something like this, but I don't want to stand up here and tell you guys that you're going to be picking up 20 to 30 wheel, because frankly that's just not going to happen unless again the coils you are replacing were pretty much completely on their way out. Now what the MSD coils will do is help smooth out a rough idle and smooth out your revs, barring a good set of plugs of course, and that will help clear up any high RPM misfires and possibly even improve some fuel mileage depending again on how bad of a shape your factory coils were. Now MSD claims that all of this will be possible thanks to the increased voltage output over the stockers, and that is something to keep in mind here when switching to the MSD options. Now MSD is going to build these 2 valve specific coils using their patented primary and secondary winding internals, and will feature a factory style female socket coil wire design, which will make these a very simple swap on any 2 valve GT. Finally guys, I would say the cherry on top here literally will be that bright red finish on the coil bodies, which will be visible under the hood and make for a nice little appearance bump aside from the bump and spark. But what do you say we stop talking about these things and show you what it takes to get the MSD coils installed on your 2 valve at home? So without further ado, feel free to check out our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown now.
Tools used for this install: an electric ratchet, extension, and 7 and 8 millimeter sockets. Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to install our coil packs here on our 99 Mustang, so let's get started. First thing we're going to do now that we have our hood up is we're going to remove our connectors here, and we'll get these off of our coil packs. I'm also going to pull up on this PCV hose here, remove that out of the way. We have some 7 millimeter bolts here holding the coil packs on, so we're going to take them out, we're going to remove them. That'll give us access just to pull over on the coil pack and remove it out of the way. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to just lift up here on this PCV hose, and it'll just get it out of the way. You can just pull it off like that. We'll put it and move it out of the way. Next, we'll go in here, grab our clips, unhook our coil packs. Just like that. And that one there. Once we have all the connectors off, just gonna move them out of the way there. I'm gonna take my 1/4 inch drive electric ratchet here with a 7 millimeter, break these bolts loose and remove them. Now I have them all loose. What I'm gonna do is just take out the bolts, put them over to the side here. And then one by one, what I'm going to do is just lean in a little bit on the coil pack like that. Pull it out of place. Same with this one, you can just pull it over, pop it out. And we'll go to our last one. And that's the removal on the driver's side. Now we'll go over to the passenger side. So now we're on the driver's side here. What we're going to have to do is remove our air intake tube. We'll remove this hose here and 2 clamps. We have one here, they're 8 millimeters, one there and one there. So first thing I'm going to do is pop off our connectors here and get them out of the way. Same with that one. I'm going to remove this hose up top here and get this off. And get that out of the way like that. I'm gonna take my electric 1/4" drive ratchet again with an 8mm, loosen this one up. Same with this one down here. You might not be able to see it, but there's a clamp right here. And now that we have those loose, we'll give it a nice tug. And remove our air intake tube. So now we have our air intake tube removed. I'm going to just disconnect our coil packs. You're going to reach underneath, pop off our harnesses. And the one in the back. Now, same deal from the other side. I'm going to take my electric ratchet with a 7mm, loosen all these bolts up that hold it in. And we'll get on the back one. And then we have one more in the back here. I'm pretty sure I got them all loose. Just gonna reach in here, pull out the bolts, drop one just like that. It's hard to do it with my left hand. So now we have them out. You do the same procedure. You're just gonna pull down on the coil pack like that, and that'll give you enough room to move it and get it so it pops out. And the last one. Now that we have them all out, we're ready to start reinstalling our new coil packs. So now we got everything out. We're going to go and start and put our new coils in. I'm just going to drop them into place and get them underneath here. We'll start one of our 7mm bolts that we took out. Again, do that back here. Repeat the same procedure. Get it in place. You might not be able to see. I'm taking out 7mm and getting it started. And we'll put our third one in here. This one's a little bit more tricky to get in. There we go. Get our bolt started. And our last one here, you might not be able to see it, but I'm going to drop it down inside there. Push it down into place. You'll feel it click in when you push it down. Get the screw started. And now I'm going to take my 7mm, my electric ratchet, tighten these up. Same back here. This one's a little more tricky to get into. And the last one. Now that we have them all in place, we're going to just go back, get our connectors here, push them on. Get the back ones. And this one. Now that we have them all in place, we'll reinstall our air intake tube. We're just going to take our air intake tube, push this back into place here like that, and up over top, and connect our hose here, and our two electrical connectors here. I'm going to take my ratchet, my 8mm, tighten two clamps up, and now we'll go on the opposite side and install our coil packs over there. So now we're on this side. We're just going to stick them into place like we did the opposite side. Get them down. Take our 7mm screws here and get them started. Same with this one. back one here, the third one back. Get that in place like that. One more. And now we have them all in place and we got our screws started. You take my 7mm again, run these down. And now that we have them all tight, we'll reinstall our electrical connections. And now that we have those in, we'll reinstall our PCB. So I'm just going to fish our plastic tube back over into our air intake, put our hose on, and that'll wrap up this install. That wraps up this review and install of our MSD Blaster Coil Packs Red for 99-04 GTs. Thanks for watching, and for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.